You're welcome to the first edition of the Nigerian UK Partnership Investment Forum. Today we've had very fantastic speakers who are going to be talking to us about the trends and current outlook of the environmental sector in Nigeria. So I'm sure we're going to be having a really good time in terms of really reviewing the opportunities that are in Nigeria.
As a nation, Nigeria is a very young nation, younger than a century old. But the people in Nigeria have had a very long-standing history that dated back to thousands of years. In terms of resources, I can say we have everything. This is a nation that has huge human resource. In addition to that, now we also are pushing towards renewable energy. I think there were about 7 companies that have recently obtained TCN license to produce solar power, out of which a lot of them could not get it. I think not more than one could actually secure the funding to come on board and really do it. So there is a very big potential for that. We have the solar, we have the sun, the temperature is there, we have the land, we have everything, but the investment is becoming another issue.
Today, renewable energy, I think, would be key in a market like Nigeria. The reasons being solar, wind, waste to energy, have reached a point where they are cheaper than the other energy areas, hydro and thermal. So there's a good story to be told there. The RE deployment is reaching a tipping point in Africa. There's more being done in East Africa than perhaps in West Africa or Nigeria. So there's a good story to be told there as well.
Last year we were in all energy in renewable energy in 2014 in Manchester. I saw the projection in the UK for like 30 years. I was telling Patricia that look, she asked me, what are we going to do in Nigeria? I said, we have to do everything we can to make sure these companies go to Nigeria. Look at the UK, they have almost everything, but see projection for like the next 30 years, how they are still improving on what they have already. So these are the areas where we think we can bring investors to Nigeria.
There is a greater reach through the budget at the moment in terms of putting money into capital projects, around about maybe 30% of the budget, rather than the lesser amount, around 10% of the budget that went in before, and the rest was going in revenue in terms of paying civil service and goodness knows what else. You know, there's some very, very interesting companies out in Nigeria. There's a lot of smart, bright entrepreneurs as well. You should really go, and I know that a number of you have been out there, but you should really go and test the market, see people today and talk to them as well. There are immense opportunities. We used to run trade missions, a lot of trade missions for first timers, particularly coming into Lagos as well. By the end of the week, each one of those first timers would say, why haven't I been here before?
In the UK, we work closely with UK Trade and Investment. There is a new trade envoy to Nigeria appointed by number 10 Downing Street, John Howell MP, whom we met last week. The Foreign Office is equally well involved in Nigeria through its Prosperity Initiative. And DFID, as we heard earlier, is also well involved. So we try to relate to all those UK government organisations. Our strategic aim is to de-risk the engagement between British companies and Nigeria.
The next set of nations that will likely move the global economy are these 4 countries, and Nigeria happens to be among them. Nigeria actually is the end in the minute acronym. Now, in the same year, 2014, Nigeria was declared the largest economy, and it's still the largest economy by far, well ahead of South Africa.
What's an asset? An asset is anything that gives you value. Value to an organization, value privately. And what's asset management? I mean, there's been lots of definitions about asset management. It's actually getting value from your asset, serving the people here, and thinking about sustainability into the future. I mean, look at the gap there. So here you have South Africa generating almost 40,000 megawatts of electricity for about 55 million people. Nigeria has almost 200 million, 4 times the population of South Africa, and is generating 10 times less. I mean, look at that gap. Can you see? Is anybody with me? The gap is massive. It was a massive gap for people like you to come and fill in.
Will have waste. In our businesses, in these businesses, they will have some waste. So there are opportunities. If you think about every one of the population in Nigeria produce 1 kilogram per day, then you actually think about millions of tons. That's an opportunity because somebody's waste is actually another man's treasure, as it's being told.
So we're looking for sustainable solutions for primary healthcare facilities and other communities that live in remote areas that have perhaps little infrastructure but lots of sunshine. So this is where the fridge comes in. We advised WHO in the early days, and we've stayed in this business, this niche market, ever since. When you look at the cost of a solar system compared to a diesel generator that's already embedded, it can seem to be really expensive. But actually, if you look at it over a number of years, the costs, you know, they're comparable. So visas, actually, I need to add there. Getting visas sometimes can cause quite a lot of trouble. And timing. Sometimes some of the projects can take a long time to come off in Nigeria. Or timing can be a good thing. You could happen to bump into the right person at the right time and be shown the next opportunity. So it works both ways.
So we have a mandate to get investors to come and invest in electricity generation in Nigeria. So Nigerians have learned to survive because they don't have a choice, they have to survive. That's why they spoke earlier about Lagos because I said that Lagos survives because he has a lion heart, he knows what he wants and he goes to get it. That's why everybody in Nigeria, whatever happens, we learn to take care of himself. Not that you can't be taken care of, but I think the issue is we don't have enough people interested in have invested that. So the market is there, so it just let you know how big the market is.
The background, very quickly, because you have already said what I want to say. But I'm just going straight to the projects, which will interest you. But the big question is it true that most Nigerian cities are growing? Yes, the answer is yes. We are growing. Do we need investment in 36 states, including our city? The answer is yes, we need it. The leaders, our leaders, political and otherwise, do they actually believe that waste management is a problem? The answer is yes. Do we need waste to energy and waste to wealth? The answer is also yes. We are also talking about saying no, but if the Western world, UK companies can also come and help us develop a sanitary landfill, or perhaps help us in developing a transfer station or loading station, it will reduce the risk. Means that our world will rather be a better place.